Welcome to the Clear to Send podcast, a podcast about wireless engineering, where we educate you on Wi-Fi technology, talk about design tips, troubleshooting, interviews, and the tools. Here are your hosts, Roel and Francois.
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of the Clear to Send podcast. I am your host, Roel Dionisio. I am going to introduce this recording to you because it is a live recording that we did at WLPC Prague that just happened recently, just a couple of days ago. And I'm currently recording this introduction at another hotel room because I'm now in San Diego. But this live recording is a mega podcast because it is a combination of other podcasts within this show. So we have the Wireless Banter Show in this recording. That's with UC, Jerry, and Joel. And we also had the Wi-Fi Ninjas, and that's Mac and Matt from that show. And it's just all of us combined into one room. We had a small audience, people listening, and also contributing to the show because we also bring in Keith Parsons to talk about his troubleshooting presentation that he did. We also had Andrew McHale come and talk a little bit about his voice over IP presentation that he did to everyone. And we also recap some of the other presentations that we saw, name a couple of our favorite presentations from the conference. And it was my first time attending WLPC, and just wanted to let you guys know it is worth it. It is worth attending this conference and getting to know other people in the industry and learning from other smart people as well. I learned quite a bit out of this conference, and the Prague, the European one is just, I found that it was very cool to attend, and plus I got to go to Europe. And so this is a live recording again, so I will try to link out to a video. The video will be hosted on the Wireless Banter Show, so you'll find the video there. I'll link to it in the show notes. And you may hear this episode also on Wi-Fi Ninjas because we all recorded at the same time. So here it is. This is the live recording from WLPC Europe, Prague, specifically 2019.
You'll have to sing it.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
If you don't mind singing.
Well, you've done a great version of it there, UC, so I don't need to do that.
Ninjas podcast. Right?
Oh, that was pretty good.
Yeah. So, you're listening to the Wi-Fi Ninjas podcast, where we talk about wireless technologies. Here are your hosts, Mac Daring and Matt Starling.
Well done.
Awesome.
All right. So, who are we and where are we?
Yeah. Well, let's start with Francois here on the very back.
Yeah. Hi, guys. So we're at WLPC Europe in Prague, and I guess we're from the Clear to Send podcast. These guys are from the Wi-Fi Ninja Show from England.
Yo.
The Wi-Fi Ninja Show, I guess. And then UC is here from the Banter. Where are your colleagues?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm missing.
We have
like
one third of the banter show.
All right.
The other guys are doing too much bantering outside.
Yeah, I guess. So tonight, the plan is to talk about the WLPC. We have a few slides here. We have probably a couple of guests coming in to talk about their presentations here. So the idea is that we, in a few minutes, summarize some of the presentations here at WLPC, and then we may have a surprise guest come in as well. But okay. We'll see about that later. So. Should we start by just looking at some of the presentations? I could share my screen.
Yeah, UC, which one was your favorite that you've seen? Because you've seen them all, right?
I really like the
yesterday
one,
morning. You remember the
the Monday ones? I really.
You were the first
really
one
like.
here. I saw you sitting down in the front.
Yeah. I actually was here.
Actually,
Sunday.
I saw you laying down on a couch. Actually,
you
right?
did
you guys see that?
Anyway, so the guys are cracking jokes because I was here Sunday, but then I was away for Monday, Tuesday, so I haven't seen quite all of it. But
okay.
I
Let's see what you got.
See some of it.
like your slides. Oh,
wow!
I wonder which
got a
screen is
whole
actually broadcasted. Can anybody see? Should we change the swap displays? I want.
Yeah, they're either seeing your presentation display. Maybe you should look at the chat. No one's
They're seeing the notes.
no one's monitoring the chat here.
Yeah.
That's the thing when you have only 1/3 of the banters here.
This is what happens when you
guys.
set up. This is
No sidekicks.
No sidekicks whatsoever.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll get this going.
We'll get there. It doesn't look good though.
Maybe just mirror. Can you mirror the screen and then that way it's the same?
Yeah, that's the way to go.
You've somehow got some green lines. Well,
we're getting some more guests turning up now.
Fernie's coming in. What were you guys' favorite sessions?
Yeah, while I set up.
Okay.
Yours.
Obviously, we really enjoyed your Wi-Fi 6 presentation. It was very good.
And our tests are very similar because you guys have a Wi-Fi 6 episodes as well. We do, and it's actually really good to see the differences, between me and Francois' tests and then your guys' tests, and just to see where Wi-Fi 6 is actually going, or what does it look like from some of these vendors, right?
Now, you were a lot more brave than what we were, because Mac was trying to convince me to do some live demos when we did our event, and I was like, man, I'm not doing any live demos because,
So just so you guys on the Zoom call, Francois wanted to do a live demo, and I called it the demos of all live demos because it consisted of 10 WLAN pies, a Ubiquity switch, 10 WLAN
11 because one
was a DHCP server, then a Jetson Nano, which was your PCAP collector. So he was collecting PCAPs. We have an Aerohive AP broadcasting in the room, and we told everyone to connect.
Yeah, and it worked.
It worked. It magically worked. And thanks to Fernay for telling you to test it out the day before.
The day before, I was like, Fernay came to me and was like, did you test it? I was like, no. He's like, oh, you should test it. And then we spent the night testing it. And good thing we did, because I forgot the admin password on my Jetset Nano and I had to rebuild it overnight.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine, 20 minutes left of our presentation, we're just watching Francois type in the password wrong several times.
Fernay saved me.
Here seems to be some more of the Wireless Banter Show turning up. Maybe we're up to
some more
2/3
banters
now.
coming in. But then afterwards, that night, we had a Wi-Fi 6 party, which we were actually able to see OFDMA. In the lab, we didn't see it. So in our presentation, we weren't able to see OFDMA. But 2-3 hours in to the Wi-Fi 6 party, as we're all tired, we saw it for maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah, and then we saw it in the packet captures.
Yeah. When we the same for us. Like when we were doing our testing, we managed to capture it in a couple of videos, but trying to recreate it, we was doing speed test after speed test, and trying to re-simulate that. It was very hard. So
it's not obvious when you look at the spectrum. It's not obvious to know if it's OFDMA or not. Like, I'm not even sure yet. Like, you really
just by
have
visualizing it's not confirmed that, hey, that's OFDMA.
You have to correlate it with the packet capture and try to see when did it happen and all of that.
Yeah, it's hard to capture it. But going back to your previous question about some of the other presentations that I liked, Andrew McHale's presentations were really good. Especially his one on 11K R&V.
Yep.
It made me want to go off and switch V off of all of the wireless networks I've gone and deployed recently. So thanks for that, Andrew. He's at the back here now. He's a spectator for the live webinar.
We should probably talk about Andrew's presentation, shouldn't we?
Well, as he's turned up.
Andrew, you want to come and you promised to give us a 5-minute brief of your preso.
Can you do your 10 talk in 5 minutes?
How many minutes did you use on stage? Total 40. Okay. So here's Andrew's presentation, 40 minutes in 3 minutes.
Come around,
and it's up here. So, go, man. Just see if I can.
Did you fix technical issues?
Yeah, technical issues have been solved by removing the
Webcam's about to break now. Sorry, guys.
Introduce yourself to everyone. Yeah. So you're on a Zoom call.
If you see me on a video, then I'm mildly offended because I'd like to preach about voice whenever I can. So yet again, another WLPC and more voice preaching. So rather than me talk, what do you guys?
So what's going to be your talk next year then, if you can't talk about voice?
I'm all out of ideas now. So hopefully something will explode on the voice.
VoIP over Wi-Fi 6. Maybe you can talk about that next year.
If anybody gets it working.
We have 1 year.
Well, no, we've got to submit topics in like 9 months, right? So I need some warning.
Just submit it, and then you figure it out right before.
So you had two quite very interesting findings. If you was looking for us to ask you a question on your presentation, I could maybe prompt you on something that I found quite interesting.
Was that my shirt?
Other than your shirt, no. Your findings around with your 802.11r over the air and over the DS.
Yeah, so let's flip to that. If I can control UC's Mac, I'm not a Mac user. So that was so UC asked me to take my 43 slide deck and basically distill it into 3. So basically, I don't get to show all the sweat and tears I went through to do this. I just get to show you the results. So you're really kind of cheating here. But this was basically an overlay comparison of roaming without 11R on the far right, and then in the center with over the DS, and on the left over the air. And yeah, I mean over the DS. Me and Mackenzie are going back and forth about it. He still won't agree that over the air is superior, but over the air was.
You essentially forged the test to prove you're right?
They're not forged, but I've made it my mission to disprove Peter now. I've kind of found my niche in the community, and it's basically me versus Peter on most things.
What's winning?
Well, Peter obviously, but he's been doing this a lot longer than me.
But you have the microphone now, so.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a community. I still have to see the guy tomorrow.
And tonight, straight after for the WLA quiz night.
Yeah, it's me and him on the quiz comparing. So
who's going to be the ring caller?
Both of us. We tried to make it just Peter, but he said that he wanted. Well, I don't know. Have you trademarked banter? Because he wanted some banter between the compares. So what you're looking at here is over the air being.
Put it closer to your mouth. I think he's trying to hint to show you there.
Really? my voice is not being
very
picked
subtly.
up. That's the first time ever. I'm normally told to shut up and move the mic away. So over the air here is a lot quicker than over the DS. And my negative with over the DS is that you still need to have a connection to the access point you were on to initiate it. And so I'm not a huge fan over the DS, but Peter's argument is that although there's more frames in the over the DS, well, actually, there's not more frames. He claims there's less because 2 are on your existing channel and 2 are on the new channel, whereas over the air requires 4. But to me, the evidence is there. When the transaction has started, 2 milliseconds for over the air and then 60 for over the DS. So,
okay, but it's still both like this.
Awesome, still are awesome for voice, yeah, compared to 472 milliseconds for no 11R.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely go R whenever.
Yeah.
Okay, so second thing that was extremely interesting is your favorite protocol, which is 802.11v. Tell us how much do you love it and why?
Yeah. Right, so I was testing in my home lab, right, and I had to make my network very aggressive for the testing to happen. So I don't want everyone watching to think that this is typical of 11v. But because I had to make the network so aggressive just to try and trigger an 11v transition, it actually just broke basically connectivity. The network told my iPhone to go somewhere else. When it did, it chose a worse AP with worse signal. And the moment it connected that AP also told my iPhone to go somewhere else. So then it tried to connect to another AP and that one told it to go somewhere else immediately. So my iPhone felt pretty unloved during this test. But as I say, the settings were aggressive. I don't want to say that's real world because it may not be. You may get different mileage in an enterprise, but it didn't look good from where I was sat.
Did you try with the Vocera batch?
We do not support 11v because the client should make the decision, not the network.
Okay.
So we just ignore it.
Banter? Yeah. If 11v is on, we'll just ignore it. We'll ignore the transition requests, yeah.
Okay. So since we have you here, you can also tell us which was your favorite presentation.
Oh, that's a loaded question. With all these people in the room looking at me.
If you say Keith, we'll have a great leading. So.
You might come back next year if you say Keith.
Guaranteed in for your presentation in February.
Guaranteed spot. Do you want 55 minutes for the next WLPC?
Keith always brings a world of knowledge in, and I think I love the fact there's troubleshooting methodology there, and the stuff you put on the screen is fantastic. But I mean, in terms of being blown away, it was Germans. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I mean, that was
airtime calculator.
Lifted the rock on something very, very ugly in certain cases that we hadn't really paid attention to. So that blew my mind and took a lot of work to get to. So
can you summarize, or German, can you summarize your presentation? Come quickly here. You have 2 minutes to summarize.
Right.
Plus, thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you.
Banter on.
Love you. Oh, coming.
All right. So German, everybody.
German.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. To summarize, I have built an airtime calculator in Excel, where we calculate each and every bit in an TXP, and the end result is the duration of a TXP. For all available MCS or for AN, AC, and AX on all different resource units. And I used the result to explain or visualize the effect of the per throughput and show that even if we give each client a lower speed rate at AX, each client get a higher throughput.
So you pretty much
1 minute.
You pretty much explained the math behind the higher efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah. So and you worked a lot for that, right? You didn't mention that, but you did a lot of reading and working and over the summer to come up with that.
Yes, I bought a draft about middle of summer, and I read it maybe 40 times. And and I have to narrow it down to a very small item, so I found all the stuff at OFDMA and cutoff, multi-user, MIMO, target, wait time, and all that kind of stuff. That is a physical header that amazed me.
So what's the next step? Like, how would you make it better?
Andrew van Arch challenged me one time and to calculate the timing in an aggregated frame. So maybe my calculator go on downlink, down OFDMA. I have not calculated uplink OFDMA yet.
Okay.
So we still.
So then the next step will be uplink OFDMA and aggregation frames. Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Jerry, I think you've got to get in here and introduce yourself now. Yeah, come on, man.
Should we stop the screen sharing here?
Yeah, since we're not talking about voice anymore.
I'll pull up the next one while you speak.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know what I'm speaking about, but
what did you do this week, Jerry?
What did I do this week?
Yeah.
Just been hanging out. No, I've actually just got done doing a deep dive session. So yeah, that was kind of my main gig this week was putting together a deep dive on the WLPC. So yeah, just wrapped that up and jumped on the show.
Did the people enjoy it?
I hope so. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed delivering it. It was fun. Yeah. A couple of new things this year that I was pretty excited about was the remote packet capture capability that we've had some rough kind of remote packet capture capabilities through some third-party tools and different means and stuff, but it's through some reworking and some enhancements in Wireshark, we're able to set it up pretty quickly as a remote packet capture device.
So can you explain how that works? What do you do? What do you need to do? Which piece of equipment do you need? And
So the WLAN-PI image now has all the kind of commands already entered on the WLAN-PI side and preset up for the monitor mode and packet capture capability.
Okay.
And then it's just setting up your Wireshark. They call it a EXT cap, I believe, which is a new kind of plug-in system of Wireshark that allows you to create these remote interfaces. So we can basically set up the WLAN-PI as a remote interface for Wireshark.
So you connect WLAN-PI via USB to your laptop, and then Wireshark establish a SSH connection to the WLAN-PI, and then send a TCP/DUM command.
Yep.
And then you stream back the packets back to your laptop.
So either over the USB connection if you want to do it locally, or over an Ethernet connection if you want to do it remotely, or I guess still locally as well. But yeah, the Ethernet side would allow it to be anywhere along the network.
Awesome. Yeah. Francois has questions.
No, because he helped me to set it up on the Jetson Nano, so we could do the same thing, capturing AX packets.
Yeah. This is not something that's hard set to the WLAN-PI. This is a Linux command type of thing. So really, any Linux box you can make work with this.
And we had to type it yesterday with a keyboard we didn't understand.
That was quite the adventure. I think we had about 4 people involved to enter a few keyboard commands, and hey, we made it through. It was a little bit of a translation and different things involved, but we got there.
Now the full Wireless Banter Show crew are here. Joel's just like sneaked in on the back. You got to come say hello, man.
Should I like slide over? Are we doing video?
The camera is over here.
I don't know if
we got
video on or not.
There's video.
Yeah, come squeeze in.
All right behind Francois here. Cool. Hey, I'm Joel, and I am now here. I don't think we've actually met, by the way. I'm Joel. Nice to meet you
too, mate.
Yeah.
Joel, bye. Super nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, sure.
Again, have the mic. Thank you.
No, Mike, it sounds like you have auto-tune on all the time. It's just funny for me.
It's not funny to me.
I
I'm
thought we're
listening
doing
to it all the
some
time.
audio processing on your voice in the podcast, but I guess it's just your voice.
Hey, now that Joel is here, first of all, welcome back to Banter. You were gone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, I just didn't really want to show up.
We've gone full banter.
You want to talk about the packet potato for a bit?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to hold it up close to the camera?
No, you come here.
Oh,
come here
over
take
there.
my seat.
Talk about it.
Right. Oh boy.
Mind the cables.
You want? Okay, you hold the back potato. I'm gonna go over this cord.
Sharing, right?
Okay, I'll just like I don't know. Oh,
Just
Jerry,
sit
you
on
wanna scoot
Jerry's
over one
lap.
and I'll. Okay.
Slide note.
Hey, Banter Show. Or no, Banter Show / CTS / Wi-Fi Ninjas.
That's
That,
right.
what are we calling this thing anyway?
No idea. Who's this guy?
Nice. I don't know, but it's nice. Cool. So, it's the Gits. Some say that he gives really nice shoulder massages, actually. Okay, so what you're looking at, am I supposed to talk about the packet potato now?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
We don't talk about the Gits as well.
We could, although we should leave him as mysterious as possible. Nobody has a clue who he is. So first off, since we have a slightly European audience here, I should probably explain what exactly is going on with the whole potato thing. So I'm from the States, obviously, and I live in a state called Idaho, which is synonymous with potatoes. Like, if you eat a potato in the States, it probably came from Idaho. So I am potato-fi. And so this is the packet potato, which is basically the world's worst packet analyzer ever. It's the worst packet analyzer ever. So you've all seen like a spec hand before, like a spectrum analyzer, like the Echo Sidekick. It's a really great example. MetaGeek WiSpy is another one. When you look at a SpecAN, you see one of two signatures or shapes from Wi-Fi. If it's like an 802.11b data rate, then you get a curve shape. If it's an 802.11g or N data rate, you're going to put our audience to sleep. I mean, I'm already trying. But yeah, I'm already trying, but you know. If you see an 802.11g or N data rate, you get a flat tabletop shape, right? And so the packet potato the question is it a spectrum analyzer or a packet analyzer? We're not really sure, but all it does is it listens for packets, and if it's a DSSS data rate, it turns on the green LEDs, and if it's an OFDM data rate, it turns on the green LEDs, and that's it. That's all it does. It does have a little screen to tell you what channel we're on, so I can like switch down to channel 6. Yeah, there's channel 6 right now. Thanks. It's mirrored, and I was really mirrored on the screen. That was really difficult. Yeah, we go up to 13. Yeah, of course we can. Oh yeah, not much going on channel 13 right now.
It's amazing.
It's kind of Wes. What channel you're on? Channel 6 right now. Yeah. Wes Purvis here in the background. He's got his packet potato.
Got his potato wrapped around
Yeah.
his
Who
neck.
else? Anybody else? Oh, yeah. Raymond. Raymond has got his. Keith, where's your packet? It's in your room. Okay. All right. That's okay. Yeah. So any questions about the potato grade packet analyzer?
Yeah, sure. So since it gives us such an amazing functionality, I'm sure that all of us would want to buy one.
Right.
How can we do it?
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, it's definitely positioned to unseat some of the more expensive packet analysis tools out there.
I can probably wear this during a survey, right?
You could. Yeah, really useful.
Great for Christmas.
Yeah.
Does this integrate with Ekahau Pro so you can feed data from this into Ekahau Pro?
It doesn't, but I will talk. Miko's not here.
What kind of reports can I get out of it?
What you see, that's what you get out of it. So anyway, somebody might want to warn NetAlly that this is coming because, this
does it support AX yet?
Actually, it will because, AX is going to be backwards compatible with 802.11 Prime, right?
It's already ready.
For 802.11ax? Yeah. Well, does anybody know why I did green for OFDM and blue for DSSS? Anybody want to take a guess as to why I chose this? No, not the Ekahau colors. No. The old school Wi-Fi. Nice, good job. In Ekahau Pro. That's right. Yeah. What's that? Yeah. So B was green, G was blue. Where does that leave 11N with this whole thing? Purple. Right? Yeah, and not enough room for it. We didn't have enough pins for that many. Oh, B for blue, G for. Oh. Wow, it's that simple. So for those of you that
repeat that.
So yeah, for those of you that can't see or hear Wes in the background here, Wes says that it's B for blue and G for green, which makes. Do you think that's what the Wi-Fi Alliance was doing all along?
We just cracked the code. Let's just start saying it, and then it'll pick up.
Yeah. We got to 802.11n, it just fell apart. So anyway, yeah, that is the pack. Oh, so you're asking about getting one? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is a great question. So the main reason why I created this is because there's some conferences out there like DEF CON. Anybody go to DEF CON? Anybody in the room been to DEF CON? Yeah. Keith's been to DEF CON. At security InfoSec conferences like DEF CON and B-Sides, and to some extent Black Hat, badges are a really big deal. Like you can get a badge that looks like, Bender's face, and it's like, not that Bender, not the Bender that we know in the Wi-Fi community, but, Futurama Bender. Oh, there is a Futurama Easter egg on the back here. Here, do you want to show the audience? There is a Futurama reference on the back there. Not sure if Spectrum Analyzer or Packet Analyzer.
So it's just a logic board.
Yep.
Here, right?
Yep.
And then there's a battery and...
Yes. So
just learned today in your course.
Oh yeah, because you were soldering one.
And yeah, because consequently, just 2 weeks ago, I was soldering something for my bike, and I really sucked at it. And today, I really actually taught me in like 2 minutes how to solder.
Wow,
which
you were
was
natural,
really
man.
cool.
Yeah, it looked really good. So yeah, we'll get it finished up before the end of the conference here. But I was talking about like the purpose behind this. Badges are a big deal at InfoSecurity conferences. Why not have a badge for a Wi-Fi conference at some point? So I don't know. What do you think, Keith? Maybe more badges in the future? Keith says more badges. So. So, also one more thing I should point out is here on the side, you see those three, the red, green, and blue LEDs. That is the frame type, whether it's a management frame or a control frame or a data frame. I actually couldn't get that to work at all. I just didn't know how. And then Blake's not in here, is he? I think he's actually still upstairs helping people mop up things in the soldering deep dive, but he actually got that working. So shout out to Blake. Nice work.
Nice.
It was
that
like
was just
effortless.
Today, right?
Last night at midnight. So yeah, today
Nice,
actually.
nice.
Yeah, it was technically today.
So bring your broken stuff to WLPC and it'll get fixed.
And Blake will fix it.
Well, I don't know.
That's community for you.
Well, so Jerry said, bring your broken stuff to WLPC and it'll just get fixed for you. So I don't know, work on the WLAN Pi. Have you had similar experiences like that where you like hit a roadblock or just something you just didn't understand, but somebody else in the community like just knew what to do, or is that just me? It might be just me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole kind of premise behind the WLAN Pi project is all community-driven stuff. And yeah, whether it's just, new ideas or taking the ideas that were kind of half-baked and, making them actually work and work better. What's that? Full baked.
Full baked.
Making them half baked. Yeah, I can half bake stuff. All right. It's full baking it is the problem. But yes, that's been pretty awesome with the community. It's definitely become a lot more polished over the years now.
It's pretty cool, man. And you guys I still didn't answer your question about buying one, because I have had multiple people ask me. Never intended to make money on this. It was really just for fun. But I've talked to a lot of people this week that would like to get one. And most people have said, I don't know, let's just take a quick poll in the room and maybe on the chat too. Would you rather have a kit where you get a bag of components and you solder them together? It's all through-hole stuff, so it should be pretty easy with a full guide. Or would you rather just buy one pre-assembled? I don't know. Throw in the chat. Clark says a kit. What do you guys think in the room? Kit?
Kit. I do the kit.
Kit.
I'm lazy, man. I'd rather it come.
What's that?
Yeah.
So you want a finished one. So maybe we do.
I'm with Helga on that one.
Maybe we do both.
By the way, I'm lazy, says a guy who has built an enormous product.
Cool. I think that's all I have to say about that, unless people have questions.
Should we bring in Keith? Grandmaster.
Bring him in.
But before you leave, though, like, where did you make it?
Oh, yeah. Like, how did? Okay.
Like
before we bring Keith in,
you just didn't get a board in a potato shape, did you?
No, we didn't just get a board in a potato shape. Yeah, we can. I can stretch out the limelight here a little bit longer. Oh no, Wireless Banter Show is the co-host now. Are we on?
We still here?
Hey, somebody in the comments. Okay, lots of people say kit. Lots of people. Jimmy, Bryce wants a 2-pack, one of each. Yeah, that's a good idea. Cool. Okay, it's still working. Okay, so build process for this. First thing I did is I had the idea for it, and I built it on a breadboard with 2 LEDs, one for DSSS, one for OFDM. And then I got just kind of got that basic thing working. And then I took it to my brother, who is a mechanical engineer, but is pretty sharp on the electrical engineering side. And I gave him a sketch, basically the potato and, like the graphic of Fry on the back and the layout of kind of where I wanted everything. And I said, hey, man, can you help me work this out and do a PCB design for me? So my brother did the whole PCB design. He's at Crane550 on Twitter. So he did that, and then he got the files back to me, and I sent it off to a Chinese PCB manufacturer called JLC PCB, and I sent that out on a Friday night, a Sunday night, and they had it to me on Friday afternoon.
Wow.
All the way from Shenzhen. Yeah. Wow. Really quick. And they're super high quality boards and everything. So, really quick turnaround. So we did a prototype. The green one that I was wearing at Wi-Fi Trek was the prototype. This is like the next prototype. We've identified a few issues on this board, but it does blink. And that's the important part. So, yeah, anybody can make these boards. I mean, people with the know-how, and really thankful to my brother. Shout out to my brother for putting a lot of time and effort in doing the hard part, working at the finer points of the circuitry, and doing the PCB design. Could not have done this without him, and he did it insanely fast. Like, I think we did the whole thing. We started 7 weeks ago. When did we find out that the soldering deep dive was actually for real? 7 weeks to get to this, which I think is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that's great.
It's cool, man.
Cool. Thanks.
Woo!
You want to come up, Keith?
So, question, where can people find more information about the packet potato?
Hashtag packet potato on Twitter for now. Awesome. Hashtag packet potato. So I will vacate a spot for Keith.
I'll just move over here. All right. Grandmaster K-Dog.
So, Grandmaster in America has different meanings. So
it does?
Yeah.
Yeah, lost in translation. Once again. I wish I got $1 every time I hear that. So Eka House logo used to have blue balls, and I used to refer to the blue balls in every one of my demos, and every time I say that, I would get like, hee,
yeah, that doesn't translate
from the other end.
This is from the guy who called it RTFM on purpose.
Well, that's also true. But that wasn't my idea, actually. RTFM came from one of the developers. I think we had something like COW originally intended as the acronym, but RTFM was much better because it was supposed to be WOW and COW. But then,
that's way better than WOW and COW.
Yeah, way better. So first of all, thank you for the awesome conference. I'm assuming everybody already knows about the conference. If you don't, go to wlandpros.com to find out more. But today, what if we talk a little bit about, I just took some of the pictures from your website actually, but this is about your presentation today, which is based on your brand new, is it 4-day course of Wi-Fi troubleshooting ins and outs. So it talks about the methodologies, the tools, the different means to get to the same place, which is the solution. Where should we start? Even with this, you tell us. But I mean, there's a picture on the screen. Why don't you
start at the beginning? No. In order to come up with a new course on how to troubleshoot, there's been a lot of how many of us have taken CWAP for years that it gets into the packets? Yeah. And that is a form of troubleshooting. And then one cycle that went through with the CWMP is they kind of took the teeth out of CWAP, and it was no longer about packets, it was about troubleshooting. So it became a troubleshooting course, kind of around packets. And then I thought, well, in ECSE's teaching design, we've taught design for a long time. One of the biggest questions that we get is, do you have anything for troubleshooting? Because we design once, but we troubleshoot every single day. So coming up with an idea of how to troubleshoot, there's many people, there's a Cisco method and a Microsoft method and a CBMP method of a flow of troubleshooting. And in order to even look at that, I wanted to say, well, what could go wrong in wireless? And I always give a shout out to Lee Badman, who made a picture maybe 3.5 years ago of a idea of how to look at, I don't know if you even have that picture up there.
WLANpros.com/troubleshooting, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I even have it there. But anyway, he took that idea of graphically to see how complex Wi-Fi is and found out that it is way more complex than I thought it was. Oh, there it is, yeah. So that was Lee's original picture, and kind of started with that, then worked with, hundreds and hundreds of hours to come up with this graphic. And after a couple of discussions today, we're going to update it some more.
Nice.
It needs an entire RRM bubble. And I totally skipped it.
Its own box.
Yeah. So the idea was to find out how Wi-Fi works, what could go wrong, and then teach people a methodology of where to hang things on. There's still a process. You still have to go through the same processes to solve the problem, to isolate it, to do all those issues. We have a ton of tools to play with, tools that allow you to investigate, some tools to validate, some tools to interrogate, to use packet captured analysis, but just needed to come up with some structure to hold the whole thing on. So that was kind of the impetus, and now we have a class that goes through and does that, and then teaches using free tools, using inexpensive tools, and using professional tools.
So besides the tools, I know you're really excited about wireless tools, but after the tools, what was the most exciting thing when you were kind of building this? What was the thing that kept you motivated when you were, because this is an enormous amount of work for you and the team that you built this with.
The tools are fun. And to come up with a class that has hands-on, that you actually get it and try it, that's kind of cool. For me personally, it was finally seeing the structure fit, the way to break it down, that to be able to tell the difference between a wired problem and a wireless problem. And if it is wireless, how in the wireless is it working? Is it because it's an RF issue, or is it because of an association issue or a client issue? And just to have a graphic to hang things on so you could point and talk about it.
So I have a question, because I know we have the GITs in the audience regarding troubleshooting. So maybe if we could introduce the GITs on stage, the mythical Wi-Fi figure, Mr. Gits. Question to you, mystical Wi-Fi figure. 802.11ax, how's that going to change troubleshooting, and how is it going to make it complex? How is it going to make it easier? What's going to happen?
Okay.
Just speak as loud as you can.
And use an American accent or we'll know.
No, I'm not going to use my American accent because everybody will know who I am then. AX is going to make packet capture, at least, difficult from a point of view of a mobile device if you want to capture data frames. I think it's going to move packet capture into the AP. So from a point of view of packet capture into the AP, it's going to make it, I think we're going to have to capture from the AP if we want to capture data frames. A lot of troubleshooting though should occur at the client. So that leaves us with a problem because we can get the data frames from the AP. But I still think a lot of client troubleshooting, we don't actually need the data. We only need to know, have they associated? Can they connect? Have they got 382.1x? Are they sending lots of retries? So if we're seeing acknowledgements, we know, even if we can't capture the data, we know the data's being transmitted correctly. So a lot of the stuff we do from a client perspective, we're still going to be able to do. We're just going to have to get used to looking for evidence that the data is being transmitted as opposed to actually seeing the data frames.
So it's kind of like we'll have, we'll still have goggles on, but it's going to be foggy goggles. We'll miss some of the data.
Yeah, we're going to miss data frames, basically. That's what we're going to miss. If we need to troubleshoot application layer things, then you're probably best doing AP captures or wired captures to actually capture the sort of upper layer traffic. But over the air is going to be very difficult.
So just to reiterate, it is not possible to capture a payload of the AX clients with another client. You have to do it on the access point that is actively serving those clients, right?
That's my theory. Obviously, we're only literally at the moment, we're now starting to get APs that actually support OFDMA. So before I came here, I was trying to set up a test lab with several AX clients I have to actually capture the OFDM payload. That is my mission at the moment. To do it, I believe I need to capture it from an AP radio which is serving the clients. So I need an AP which allows packet capture from the radio that's actually serving it, not a third radio. There's not many of those around that are supporting OFDMA today. There is AP vendors that support packet capture from the radio that's transmitting, but finding one that's doing that and also supporting OFDM today, I believe they're coming in the next few weeks. So watch this space. But as soon as I manage to do it, I will let people know.
So that will be revealed on the Gits's Twitter, right?
Yeah. Follow the Gits on Twitter, and you'll be the first to know.
Yeah, and one more thing. That mask is even freakier close up when you get...
What mask?
Any other questions for the Gits? Anyone or Keith?
Yeah, sure. So since we have you guys here, Mr. Keith, Grandmaster, what was your favorite presentation today or yesterday?
I'm just very pleased that all the presentations that came through, just every year they get to be technical, more technical, and I'm just pleased of how well the presentations have been put together, that people put a lot of effort, sometimes months of effort, or just to give you guys kudos, the amount of time you spent to do all the testing just so that you could have that to show off in the presentation. Very well done.
Yeah, can you guys, should we talk about your presentation? I know we don't have probably slides here, but if you could summarize your guys' presentation that was on RTLS or location tracking systems. If you want to come out front.
Sure, we can move closer, sorry. In transition.
Okay, Matt, so
I don't even know which one it is.
Sorry, Ro. Whacking you the cable here.
Moving.
Sorry, mate. Yes, sure. So should we just cover quickly? In summary, the question was, what was our presentation on? Which was RTLS, which we think is the most exciting thing about Wi-Fi. We did some actual testing of multiple vendors and different methods of tracking. And we had some actual demos of some of the client sites that we had deployed it at, as well as some API stuff.
Yep. So just very quickly, we've done proper testing demos in a lab environment of Wi-Fi trilateration, of Wi-Fi hyperlocation, of MIST implementation of VBLE arrays. And what we have found out, maybe let's start with the first thing. How did trilateration work? Are you happy with the accuracy?
Yeah, I mean, well, in our testing, it was in a perfect lab environment, which also happened to be your house, furnished and unfurnished, depending on when we was doing the testing and how recently you'd moved in. So the marketed accuracy of the trilateration was like 7 to 10 meters. And most of the testing was kind of to that.
Yeah, so in the lab environment, we had really good accuracy of like 2 to 3 meters even with trilateration. So we didn't see that coming. But more importantly, how did it compare to Cisco hyperlocation?
Well, hyperlocation is known to be, it's kind of in their name, right? Hyper.
Yeah. What's the difference, like from the technological perspective?
From the technology perspective, it uses angle of arrival, so angulation, which has the multiple element antenna array built inside of it. So the market accuracy of hyperlocation is 1 to 3 meters. And with our testing, we found that to be within the marketed accuracy as well in a lab environment. In a real world environment, it kind of depends, like if you're like a stationary client or if you're moving around. Atriums are not your friend when it comes to Wi-Fi and location tracking.
No, definitely. And I think it's quite important to understand what is the frequency where your location is being calculated using RSSI methods like trilateration and angle of arrival hyperlocation.
So hyperlocation is updating every like 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Trilateration more like close.
Yeah, it was like 10 plus.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
10 plus. And now like a good comparison to MIST, which, well, we won't tell you which is our favorite, but MIST does it like every second, like the computation of the location. And also when it comes to complexity, Matt, how easy do you think it really is to put a hyperlocation network together to have the blue dot experience on your mobile phone versus, let's say, MIST?
Well, there's quite a few components you needed to have to be able to get the hyperlocation working. So hyperlocation access points, wireless LAN controller, Cisco Prime, Cisco CMX, and then potentially DNA spaces. So if we compare to what we need for MIST, we just needed the MIST access points plus connect them back to the MIST dashboard. So a bit of a contrast in the components there, but yeah, we was blown away by how accurate and how sleek MIST was, especially for the indoor location tracking, and how not only how simple it was to get set up, but also how simple it was to implement and configure. So he was able to quickly draw wayfinding paths, being able to be snapped to paths, drop in virtual beacons. So now the fact that we can have virtual beacons rather than having physical beacons and having to go around actually manualize a little battery operated beacons around the site that every few years you've got to go run around and change the batteries on. Yeah, so it's pretty nice.
Did you guys take a look at AZ? Mark talked about it, and I've never heard of it before.
He messaged me before we come here to make sure we wasn't crossing swords on our.
Okay, it was interesting to know that they also do time of arrival over Wi-Fi. I've actually never heard about it. No, when I saw him talk about 802.11mc, I was like, that doesn't exist. I'm like,
not yet anyway.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we haven't heard about it before either, but it'll be quite cool to put it around, like, to compare it to Cisco and to MIST to see how it works.
Yeah, so it's not supported, right, by like Cisco and the.
Don't think so. Not yet. No. So, what was your question, UC?
No, I was just going to recap on the technologies. So triangulation and fingerprinting. So that's provided for like Wi-Fi triangulation fingerprinting. That's like pretty much every Wi-Fi infrastructure, one way or the other, can do that, right?
It's trilateration, because triangulation, it's an angle, and trilateration is a distance. And we are talking about computing the location of a client using a distance based on RSSIs by more than 3 access points.
Yeah, sure.
Don't worry, we thought it was triangulation as well, and so we did our research properly. There's a lot of literature out there that calls it triangulation.
But also like trilateration, it's not really distance, it's DBM, and it's often fingerprinting based, and often it's probability based, and there's like 18 different names for these frameworks, right? But that's like anyway, that trilateration is any Wi-Fi infrastructure pretty much. You can throw a location engine on top, and then it works as long as you have API feed of the RSSI values, or or then the infrastructure itself provides XY directly. Then Cisco hyperlocation, that's like 4800s, it's built in, but you can snap it on to some of the other APs.
Yeah, you get the Halo module for the previous versions, like the 36 or the 3700. You get the Halo module, like you said, to snap onto the AP.
Exactly, and then for Mist, it's built into the APs, plus they have a standalone BLE array, but it's based on BLE, like an array of 16 BLE
which is quite
elements.
amazing, because like if you want to do a hyperlocation, like a very accurate location analysis, live location with Cisco, you need to have quite a lot of this 4800 access points around, right? And they are not cheap, they are massive.
They're huge.
Quite heavy.
And they stand out.
Yes, a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a little bit.
You normally need to reinforce the ceiling that you're mounting them to, right? You don't want one of them coming down and swing.
Yeah, and with Mist, with the AP11 access points, that they
BT11, right?
Yeah, it's the BT11.
Yeah, Bluetooth
that's
only.
the BLE only.
You sound like you're very clued up on the Mist product portfolio there.
Yeah, I've done some datasheet studies recently.
So Mist BT11 is the Bluetooth only one, and what we found was that really interesting is that you can daisy chain the BT11s off of the
AP.
Yeah, right.
So just taking one switch port for PoE power.
Yeah, and is it up to 4? You can actually daisy chain in.
Yeah, you can't just continually daisy chain a bunch of the BTs to a single AP. I mean, you're going to be limited by the power that's drawn there. But
so it seems like you've done some Mist AP testing too.
Just plugging it in, yeah. No, I was once asked to plug in a BT11 to a 3800, and I said no, we can't do that. But my question with your testing, because with the 4800 and the hyperlocation, like when you saw in the real world the difference with the how accurate it was, how's the hyperlocation compared to the actual BLE array? Like, do you think the array is a lot more accurate than doing the angle of arrival?
Yeah, well, the Mist testing that we did was the most accurate from. If you just go back to the thing about the technology, the way that Bluetooth work, the signal deteriorates a lot quicker. So for doing like the location tracking, that's actually a good thing, because it's not going to penetrate through floors the same way as Wi-Fi does, and how strong Wi-Fi signals are. So
is that really true though? It's 2.4 gigahertz, same frequency signal.
Yeah, it doesn't travel that fast, like 2.4 from the Wi-Fi, does it?
With the same transmit power?
Well, with the same transmit power, probably it would. But are we using the same transmit power?
Yeah, that I'm not sure. But with the same transmit power, I would claim that Bluetooth goes exactly as far as Wi-Fi.
Of course.
Yeah,
but we are using what transfer power were we using at Mist?
Well, it is BLE, right? So it's much lower.
Yeah. No, it wasn't traveling that much. It was we really clearly seeing the changes in the RSSI when you were moving away from the access point, and when you were moving 1 meter away, 2 meters away, the changes were massive. They were substantial, and in Mist dashboard you can really see it live from 8 different beams, directional beams in the access point, which is good, because you really see what the access points see.
How about with different device types? Do you notice that there's a difference in accuracy there?
Yes. So initially, when you start doing your location testing, when you put the system together and you connect for the first time, or when you start tracking your devices for the first time, you use a generic profile, but then you move around and you use machine learning to put an offset against the radio on your device, because every device is different and they have different sensitivity. And you move around quite a lot, and then you can see that in the Mist dashboard.
It's another cool feature, right?
No, it's not too bad, yeah. The color changes from gray to green, which means that your device was profiled. And then every device in your network is being profiled automatically, making it more accurate. And just to put it against hyperlocation, you use a generic predefined profile in Cisco hyperlocation, which Cisco claims it's good for 99% of cases.
Right. Thank you so much for the presentation. Really good, Preso, and interesting findings. Now we do have one last special feature here, for which we would like to invite our special guest, Mr. Dick Burner, the mysterious Dick Burner, coming on stage. And this will be a competition of Wireless Banter Show versus Clear to Send versus Wi-Fi Ninjas. So gather around the screen, and if anybody else wants to see, you will have to come here. Otherwise, we will screw up the broadcast. But it will be. I don't know what it will be.
What's going on here?
So Jerry,
I have no idea.
Thank you very much.
Doesn't sound any.
There's the computer, and you need to start sharing and all that.
Superb. Full name Richard, of course, but Dick to my friends. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to have 3 teams, yes? So we're going to have Team CTS, we're going to have Team Ninjas, and Team BS.
Yes, sir. But right before we do that, I did forget one.
Yeah.
I did forget actually a couple of presentations that you want to check out from the WLAN Pros website, and that we won't need to cover in a future episode. One was Wes's RRM, and the other one was Maxim's factory stuff.
Both amazing.
Yeah, I didn't see Wes's. I heard it was like mind-blowing, and like Max's, the whole factory thing.
Yeah. It was really funny too as well. I had a lot of laughs during that presentation.
Absolutely. I apologize we ran out of time because Richard needs to take the floor, apparently.
Okay, so we're going to do a very quick fire round. We've got 4 questions. The first one's going to be a practice, but what I need from each team is a noise. So as this is going to be a lightning round, I'm going to ask a question, and then the first team to think that they've got the answer is going to need to make a noise. So I've got lots of suggestions, but
we'll make some sort of ninja noise.
Team CTS, what would your buzzer noise? What would you like it to be?
Buzzer.
Yeah, you're going to be Go on. So let's hear the buzzer noise for Team CTS.
Right, we'll be.
Perfect. Okay, and Ninjas.
Well, we'll have to make some sort of ninja noise.
So
Hi-ya!
They'll be silent.
Okay, that's pretty good. And Team BS.
Wireless Banter Show.
See, I think you've saddled yourself with a disadvantage there. But, okay, so let's do a practice. The first question is going to be a practice round. Okay, and so I'd like to. There's
Wireless Banter.
Yes. Okay. What I want to know, no, and in this scenario, say Wireless Banter Show came up with the first buzzer noise, and then instantly afterwards there was another team's. If and when Wireless Banter Show got the answer wrong, then that would immediately go to whoever came in and buzzed second. Okay. So for a practice, out of the following 4: efficiency, higher data rates, location services, and security, 802.11i is which?
Wireless Band.
Security.
Okay, good. So that didn't count for any points because that was the practice round. Okay, all right, good. All right, so for the next one. Okay, now, so on this one, I'm going to need to share the screen.
No one's keeping track of the points anyways.
And this one here, and we'll do...
Okay. No pressure, Nick. Come on.
No.
Richard.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry. Who?
Sorry, Dick.
And now, if we can... Why is this here? Let's do that. So, this is an image. It's from Twitter, and it's going to slowly zoom out so you can see what it is. And I'd like you to tell me what it is. Okay. All right. Are you? Yeah, we got it. All right. You ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
Wireless Banter Show.
Okay, so what?
We have to get the model number correct.
But this is a profile picture. So I'm not interested in what the item is. I want to know whose profile picture
maybe
this
we
is.
should have waited for the question.
So
I mean, they're out now, so it's just us guys,
you
right?
just changed the question.
Yeah.
Go on then, Team BS.
It's Randy.
Oh,
Von Nagy.
he's good.
Wow.
He's good. So
Maybe
let's just
the person behind.
for a bonus point. The person behind is the person behind the Randy Von Naj? Nobody knows. It's a genuine mystery. Well, no, okay, it's just conspiracy theories.
I think Richard was just trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah, come on, so somebody knows, right?
We've been sworn to secrecy.
Okay, 2 more questions remaining. So the next one is like the first round.
Can I get from the audience like banter? That was the worst cheering I've ever heard in my life.
Well, there were signs on the entry saying, do not make any noise, threats of death. You know.
Everyone's just doing sign language cheering right now.
Yeah, the crowd's going wild. Okay. Efficiency, higher data rate, location services, and security, 802.11 MC.
Wireless Banter Show. MC, Master of Ceremony.
Very good, very good. Please.
Location.
Perfect. And for a bonus point, whose presentation mentioned that earlier today? Okay. Mark. Yes, congratulations. Right, so these teams have some worthless points. Team Ninjas has some worthless points, and Team CTS also has some worthless points at this stage.
Oh, Richard.
Final question. Final question for today's quiz will be another zooming profile picture.
From Twitter?
Probably.
Yeah, I'm not sure I should say what I think that is, to be honest.
You already know.
No, he just doesn't dare say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
You guys ready?
Color is similar to...
You all ready?
Yes.
All right.
Probably get that checked
Here we
out.
go.
Yeah.
Yes?
It's UC States.
I'm afraid that is not the correct answer.
Yeah, wait, or do you have another Twitter account that we don't know about?
Okay. All right, we'll start again. I guess that means
It's also Randy something.
Yeah, you guys are out now. Okay. Please.
Oh, can I answer this one? I think that was Tim. No, I'm just kidding. Keith Parsons.
Fantastic.
Nice.
The legend.
Gentlemen, well done, teams. You've all been exceptionally well. You have all scored an equal number of worthless points. Congratulations.
All right.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. And
Pleasure.
It's time for the WLA quiz in the other room, which may be broadcasted in some channel. But then, any last words before we...
Thank you, Keith, and the Wireless LAN professionals for putting on this conference. It's our debut conference here, and we've thoroughly enjoyed it. Great networking with everyone else, and thank you guys for doing this co-hosted podcast webinar. Ambush, chaos,
podcast of all podcasts.
Yeah.
and as in Jimmy Kimmel, is it where we ran? Sorry, Matt Damon, we ran out of time. So sorry, Maxim and Wes, we ran out of time. Anyway,
no, thank you, Keith. This is my first WLPC, and I chose Prague of all places. But appreciate you holding this conference and making it fun. Appreciate you guys coming out here, and I'm just really tired.
Thank you, Francois, Roel,
Thank you.
Ninjas, Jerry, Joel, Richard, all the presenters.
Yeah.
One thing I would just add on the WLPC side, since I have had the pleasure of going to both WLPCs in the US and now this is my second one in the EU, I'm really impressed by, for the shorter amount of time that it's been in the EU, the quality of the conference, I would say, is equally as good as in the US. It may not be quite as large, but it's not that much smaller, and the quality of the content and the socializing and all that kind of stuff, it's the same. Yeah, it's just pretty awesome.
Unbelievably good. We were talking about the same thing today, that, Europe, this year was the year that Europe at least got on par with the US in terms of like presentations, if didn't go actually, a bit higher. So it's going to be a tight race next year as well.
Yep.
Cool. Oh.
Right.
Keith says, put your
yeah, that's
presentations
actually
in.
true. Call for presentations or call for papers is still in for another week for WLPC Phoenix in February. Get those in, mofos.
Cool.
Right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Love you.